Hey there, everyone. Michael DeBon here with the latest episode of Starbeam.one, Stand Up and Shine and Shill. It's a series I put together to keep people up to date with my project Starbeam.one, and it is modeled after the agile methodology of a stand-up, where you tell your teammates what you're working on, what you're going to be working on, and any sort of friction points that you are encountering. And I've added so much more. Let's begin. Okay, program notes, top of the show, sort of time to talk about any sort of big ticket news items. There really isn't much. It's just happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving in particular here in the United States. And this is a big week around these parts, particularly in Michigan, because the Lions host a game on Thanksgiving. It's a tradition for many years now, and so this is kind of a big week for us, for me in particular around here, and yeah, probably not a lot of work going to get done over the weekend, but I'm going to try to attempt to do so. But yeah, that's really it. Happy holidays, and what else? Yeah, I've been having to do some work around getting servers updated, and we will talk about that on the next slide here. Yeah, I said that I was working on a server, and I don't have that actually listed here. The reason why I mentioned that is that we're actually a day behind schedule here because I was working on the server yesterday, so that's not listed, but that's kind of something that was sort of a big fire that happened. Well, it's been happening for quite a while. The server has not had Windows 10 reinstalled on it for like 5 years now, and it was really showing. It was having a really rough time, randomly freezing and all sorts of issues. So I basically spent yesterday getting that reinstalled and capturing all the settings. It was a huge hassle. But this is the server that is used for builds and deployments for Starbeam.one, so kind of an important thing. All right, so with that out of the way, talk about what I did do in addition to that. And that was basically the reason why we're filming today and deploying today or publishing this today is because of that. But yeah, so I worked on the application administration, the CMS, content management story. That's finally done, and that is awesome and ready to test. And in addition to doing that, I got .NET 8 upgraded to the solution, or the solution upgraded to .NET 8, and so that is in there. And unfortunately, there is a problem right now where Azure doesn't like .NET 8 for whatever reason, and we're having problems with that. And so I've got a ticket out there to Azure to figure out what the issue is there. And I just got an email back from them, and doing Azure ticket supports, whenever I create a new ticket, they list 100 million forms and drop downs and all sorts of information to kind of let them know what's wrong with the ticket, and it just seems like all of that goes to waste. And so I supplied one app, and it takes like 15 minutes to create a ticket. It's just a lot of effort. And, and they still can't find the app. It's been 3 emails, and they take about half a day to reply. It's been 3 emails back and forth now to actually determine the app in question. And it's just like, I just go on and on about Azure support. It's just sort of a thing. Everyone who knows that my pain and angst here with working with Starbeam.one and getting things deployed, Azure is kind of like the top of the thing. Okay, so anyway, I don't want to complain too much about them, but I think last episode I mentioned general quality fixes are sort of like a placeholder for all the bugs that I've been fixing, and that's still the case today. Okay, so what am I doing now? Actually, it's still the administration story, a content management system. This is the last major task of that. It's its own task or story in its own right. It's the entity framework integration, and this is just a way of improving how we do data and schema migrations using entity framework right now. I'm not very happy at all with how we have that set up, and it doesn't give me the warm and fuzzies, and this kind of improves that, so I have a little bit more warm and fuzzies. I might not be completely happy with it, but I'll be happier with what we have now. And so that is a story that's going to take 3.5 days. I had that listed there on line 581. And then the next line there is templating adjustments, and that's kind of moving on into subscriptions. This is sort of starting to get into like the next major story. And so to wrap up what we have here, we've got beta 3. This is what we've been working on. Beta 3 is going to be announced in 2 weeks on December 5th. And so we're doing alphas every 2 months. And so the next alpha 4, is really going to be about subscriptions. So this templating adjustments is kind of preparing for subscriptions, and this is going to be a rewrite, basically. It's going to be a major story, and I hope I can get it done in 2 months. It'll probably be more like 3 or 4, but I'm going to try to get as much done as fast as possible because, the clock is ticking here, and, we're still on Microsoft for startups, and they're still paying for Azure, and we have another year of that, and that's a major cost for us now. So, but subscriptions is really going to change a lot. And so, I've kind of talked about it a bit here on the show and on Twitter and on Discord. What we have now is sort of like NFTs, basically. We're sort of mimicking NFTs. And when I started this project, I kind of wanted to be like NFTs, but I wanted something different. I want to be more publishing, which implies lots of quantity at lower prices. And we still haven't really caught that yet. We're more like object now than anything. And, there's not a lot of innovation there. And I'm just not happy with what we have. I'm extremely happy with the code that I've written and everything that I built so far. I'm very happy and proud about that, but I'm just not happy with the actual product. So just getting back to what I wanted to do when I first started this 4 years ago was, more of a publishing model. And I believe subscriptions will get us there. So what that will allow is having every artist have a daily stream where they can produce one image or media, depending on the stream type. There's a lot of details here, but try to keep it simple. And every day you publish an image, and that stream publishes one image every day. And all it is one image every day per artist. And so people can subscribe to that stream, and essentially you have unlimited amount of subscribers that you can have and can produce each and every day. So there we get to the large quantity, and the pricing is lower. So, and I think that's going to be a lot better for a lot of people just in this market right now, and just in general, because the thing we find it with NFTs is that people have limited amounts of money. So they'll sit there and they'll throw down $2 or $3, $4, $5, even up to $10. But then that's it, right? And then, you only have so many people that are collecting, and you run out, and, you have a little bit of activity for a while, and then things stop. And it's just not very viable, I don't think. And I'm not very happy with it. So I think subscriptions is kind of more a natural way of approaching that. And excited about that. And we'll see where we get here in the next 2 weeks. Hopefully we can start working on that. But hopefully, that will be the major feature that we have for Alpha 4 in February. Okay, friction points. Talk about all the bad things that are happening. We're building a startup mostly with Microsoft technology, but other times we have companies like Twitter that show up. And as you can see, Twitter has been marked out for now. They're kind of on the way out, believe it or not. I'm going to knock on wood here because it's too good to be true sort of thing. But, we did get Lady Leah's account back, so that's awesome. But now we have another issue, and I'm feeling okay about this because we actually have an email address, and I'm actually in active contact with a contact here with Twitter ads, but it's the advertising department, and they have closed Starbeam.one's ad account because they think that we sell NFTs. Yes, I can't believe it, right? It's not one thing, it's another. And that's kind of what we have here with Twitter. And so I'm just talking with them and kind of explaining to them that we do not sell NFTs, and we do not have a blockchain. We do not have a volatile underlying asset that can be traded and manipulated on a public exchange. We have none of that. We are completely centralized, and all of our funds are within PayPal and Coinbase at any given moment. And so, that's by design. That's something that is for the safety of the system. And it's also easier that way for me because now, all the controls and whatnot, I leverage them straight from PayPal and Coinbase. And so it really helps me out a lot. So anyways, I'm having to explain all this to Twitter, and I'm feeling mildly confident about that, but we will see as time goes on. Okay, Microsoft, nothing has really changed. I just kind of reorder things, in the order of which they get to me, or in order of importance here. And the IDE redraw issues, that still continues to be a thing. So this is every time that I do a debug session, it takes 15 to 30 seconds to stand up and to sit down to draw the windows around it. For whatever reason, it's just taking a lot of time, and it's really annoying and very difficult to get through. And so that is an outstanding issue. Build times continue to be, they haven't even started looking at that yet. It's just something that they know about. And, my level of confidence for them to actually get around to doing that, anything about it anytime soon, very low right now. We're talking like 5 to maybe even 10% there. So that's, it's change one line, press one character in a Razor file, and it takes up to 40 to 60 seconds right now for me. And that's kind of, I can put up with that. But can other developers that I onboard put up with that sort of thing? So there's that. And then finally, the IDE editor issue is okay. It's getting better. It's still taking a lot of CPU, but not as much as it before. So it's actually a little bit better there, but not perfect, sort of. So it's still captured, and that's it. That's really kind of all we have. This is actually, all things considered, not as bad as I've had in the past, but still worth mentioning. Okay, home stretch here to talk about our feelings. I always say in the segment, if the world talked about its feelings, the world would be a better place. And so these are kind of metrics I go through to talk about different aspects of the project, how I feel about it. Overall morale, I gotta be honest, I'm not as feeling as great as I could be. It's still really slow, and this is getting back to how things are designed right now. We're just mimicking NFTs, and NFTs really, for the most part, aren't all that active. Again, people will buy and they'll spend a lot, but then they'll run out of money. And that's not what we want, right? We want people to have long-term viability with how they spend money, and that means lower prices, I feel, and that's kind of what we're getting to with subscriptions. And so, people will pick us up and then put us back down, and I'm not happy with that at all. So it's kind of impacting my morale, but I'm still kind of focused on subscriptions. Schedule, I'm all right. We actually kind of stuck to the schedule with our current tasks, but it could be better, right? I always feel that it could be better a little bit. Technology, there's a 7. I kind of bumped it up because despite everything that's wrong, it's not all that bad, right? I'm just trying to keep a level head about this, an open mind. That's all right. It could be better, but the build times really get to me, and the debugging thing really gets to me. But considering all that I've gone through, to where there was a point where I couldn't develop. Like, it was just almost impossible to press keys on the keyboard because it was just so much CPU utilization that I could not develop. And that's really bad, right? So I keep that in mind and kind of compare it. It still would be nice to get those items attended to, but for now I'll call it an 8. Marketing continues to be a challenge, and I don't it's still a little bit better than it used to be, but you can make a lot of noise, but can you make money from that noise is kind of what I'm learning. And how much noise do you really need before you start making money? And it just seems like we've made a lot of noise, and we've got a lot of traction, we've got a lot of followers, but it really hasn't translated to sales. And I just feel like we're doing something wrong there, sort of thing. So continue to monitor that and, explore that and see if we can improve that. Support, I always knock on wood here, is always, it's always a highlight for me, and I hope it continues that way. Hooray! Another episode in the books, and there we are, under 15 minutes. One of these days, hopefully I'll get back to 10 minutes again, but just want to thank everyone out there for all of your support and your purchases when they do happen, and for giving us a chance, right? And that's we're still a startup, and I'm still bankrolling this with my own money, and we still have about a year's left, or over a year of runway left, and so we're kind of shooting for next January as the next big date, right? And we want to start being profitable or making money by that time, and so that's sort of the next big thing. But that's a year away, right? We have a lot we can do before then, and so I thank everyone for giving us a try during that time. So with that, I just wanted to thank everyone out there, and happy holidays, happy Turkey Day. Hope you have a lot of turkey, and I heard ham's a thing now. So if you like ham for your Thanksgiving, happy ham day as well. And until next time, stay bright, stay safe out there. Goodbye.